Okay, so we're going to start with posture, and posture is the best way to get started in ChiRunning or anything in your daily life or any activity you're going to do, because posture is the point where you have your strength. We talked about the needle and cotton concept. We need to be gathered and strong and long through our spine and lengthened and relaxed. Okay, what we want is to have our skeleton to hold our weight. Okay, so we don't want to be like, if we're hanging out, if your hips are forward and relaxed, okay, locking out your knees. A lot of people are focused like this. You can start to feel muscles start to work to kind of hold up your structure. However, if you work on aligning yourself and lengthening your spine and leveling your pelvis, like we'll talk about, that will help your bones, ligaments, and tendons to hold the support of your body, and that requires less muscle usage, which is less energy for your body. Okay, so you can direct it to where you want to go. All right. So basically, the next thing what we're going to try to talk about is, which we already have, is directional alignment, which is everything's going in the direction that you're going. Okay, so we want to make sure everything's aligned up that way. And then we also want to have postural alignment, which is alignment with the force of gravity. So we're not, we're not hanging out here. We're nice and tall, and like we said, shoulders, hips, and ankles should be aligned with each other. Okay, so you want to be kind of here and not, kind of here. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. All right, so we're going to go over these in order. The first one is to align your feet and legs. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to stand here with your hip width apart. Okay, so go ahead and just stand there. Okay, and I want you to put your feet a lot more kind of parallel with each other. Okay, right. Okay, and what I want you to realize is that if you're pointing out, that's going to create tension in your foot. We talked about the Achilles problems, the ankle, the metatarsal stress fractures, the knee torque that happens if you're pointing your foot out. So very important that you have your feet pointed straight ahead. But what I want you to think about when you do that is to pick up your feet completely. So if exactly. So I want you to kind of pick up your foot and go like that to be lined up so your feet are parallel. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, the next part is, what we want to do is to have your balance of your feet. Okay, so you want to think about, when you're doing this, that you have tripods on the bottom of your feet, meaning your first toe, your fifth toe, and your heel kind of make a little triangle on the bottom of your foot. What I want you to do is to feel your feet underneath you and try to balance out your pressure on each point of that tripod. Okay, so sometimes it's good to just kind of stand here and just be quiet, or even close your eyes and feel where your pressure is right now. So go ahead and close your eyes and just go ahead and feel that, what's going on with one foot and the other. If you're putting more weight on your right foot or your left foot, if you're putting more weight on your heel or your big toe or little toe. Okay, so you want alignment with forward and back, inside and outside, and side and front to back and side to side. Okay, so that's what we want to have happen. Now take a look down, take a look at your feet. Okay, now you can kind of see the right foot's pointing out just a little bit. So I want you to do exactly like you did. Pick up the whole foot and go in like that. Reason why a lot of people have that is they're either one or both things. Either you're tight in your piriformis muscles, which are in your hip and your butt, so a lot of us are tight here, but also we're relatively weaker in the adductor and the adductor muscles of our hip. So we just need to start to bring that in. We want gradual progress with that, just kind of work towards getting in this alignment. So that looks good right now. So that's number one, aligning your feet and legs. Okay? Another part of this is to make sure your knees are soft. Don't lock your knees. Okay? So be soft in your feet, kind of relax your feet. Sometimes I even just shake them out a little bit just to kind of relax, but feel that pressure to be level on the bottoms of those tripods. Okay? So very good. The second one is to lengthen our spine. Okay? And we already kind of alluded to it. I kind of talk about these things as we go. I want them to become a thing that you memorize in your head. But basically, think about the back of your head. You can kind of just brush up the back of your head. Think about that even just a ½ inch above your head. Go and put your hand right above the crown of your head, maybe about a ½ inch. I want you just to try to think about getting your head a little bit taller, okay? And I don't want you to put your hand right about here. Get the crown of your head to kind of go up towards your hand. As you do that, your chin should come down. There you go. So you're just trying to get your head to come up just a little bit taller. And not too tense, but just a little bit. You should feel relaxed, okay? So right about there. Okay, great. So that's part of lengthening your spine. Now go ahead and put your hand down. Now go ahead and try to relax again. So get into your slump position. Like you might feel a little more comfortable to be here now. But then the next part is to lengthen again. So try to lengthen the back of your head, okay? Good. So you just want to feel that happen. And that's very good. So just trying to relax into that position and then feeling your tripods again. Okay, so going back to that as well. Okay, very good. All right, so that's lengthening your spine, just kind of getting longer here. The third part is to level your pelvis. Okay, so what I have you do is put your hand on your back, kind of on your low back here, and then one on like where your belt buckle would be, so maybe a little bit lower below your belly button, okay? Think about if your thumb was in your belly button, then you're about where you want to be, okay? What I want you to do is try to pull up your belly button just a little bit. Like think about dropping your tailbone a little bit towards the floor and then coming up a little bit. There you go. Without tensioning your butt muscles. Okay, so you're just trying to pull this up and in as this drops. That looks pretty good. Okay, good. All right, and then lengthen your spine. Good. So we're just trying to line up everything pretty well. Okay, good. So that's engaging your core. Now go ahead and relax. Do that again. So you kind of slump forward. Lock your, you kind of ends up locking your knees a little bit, and then soften your knees, align your feet and legs, pull up through your belly. There you go. Good. Looks good. What we don't want is to, arch our back like this, to be like this. That's creating what we call lordosis or too much of an anterior tilt of our pelvis. We want to think about drawing the belly button up and in a little bit. It's a subtle movement, but we should feel these little muscles working here in our abdomen. Okay? So try that again. Go ahead and go into full relaxation. Shake out your feet. Okay? Now go into our posture again. So number one, align our feet and legs. Okay? Good. Okay? And then I want you to lengthen your spine. So think about getting your head a little bit taller to the back of your head. Your chin drops naturally. Good. And then level out your pelvis. Okay? Got it? Okay. And so relax your legs, relax your knees, and think your muscles working here in your core. Okay? Got it. All right. So the next thing we're going to do to feel those abdominal muscles work a little bit more is to come over to the bench. So come on over here. I want you just to take a seat in the bench, and I want you to just completely slump into the chair. Just kind of, sit back. Now, this is how most of us sit. This might be familiar for you, okay? So what happens is the shoulders are behind the hips, so we're posterior to the hips. That's how most people stand. So if you think about it, we'll kind of lock our knees, or we'll even go out to one side, lock out a hip, and our shoulders will be behind our hips. Well, that's inefficient. That's going to make muscles tense up in our calves and our lower back, and our core is not engaged at all. So what we want to have you try to do is to just think about the action from here. If you slump in the chair, okay, if I slump in the chair, I want to think about just coming up to sit, okay, and just sitting up in my chair, okay? So think about how you do that. Go ahead and slump back again, and I want you to sit up again. Go ahead, okay, and then line yourself at good posture, okay, and then come back down again. Relax. Now, feel which muscles are working as you come up from there. What muscles do you feel?
Out of my core.
Good. So you're feeling the core muscles working. That's what we want to have happen, okay? So now I want you to stand up, and we're going to do the same thing running, okay? So when we're in our posture before we start running. So what I want you to think about now is that you go into your slump position like we just were, okay, locking our knees, keeping one hip to the side. Then I want you to think about all those posture focuses, putting the feet together, or putting the feet in alignment, okay? Feel your tripods underneath your feet, and then go ahead and lengthen your spine, okay? And then level your pelvis. And now I want you to sit up in your chair, and all I want you to do is just bring your chest forward just a little bit and your hips back a little bit. So put your hand here and here, and I want you just to bring your hips back and your chest forward, just like you're sitting up in your chair. Good. All right, good. And then put your hands down and just kind of feel that alignment there. Good. All right. Try to relax your knees. Looks very good. Okay. Now I want you to relax again. Okay. So now we're going to go into a couple exercises that describe how we stay aligned with our forces with running. Okay. So why our posture is really important for this. First one is the side to side alignment. Okay. Like I said, if we are relaxed and we're not using our core, we're going to do a little bit of shifting side to side. And I want you to try this with just relaxing everything. So go ahead and try this. Just relax and go side to side. And just just kind of shift your weight from side to side. Just kind of, if you're just completely relaxed, you're just kind of shifting side to side. Good. Okay. And then, so you feel a little bit, can you see how you're kind of going side to side, how your hips are going out? So put your hands right here as you do that, just out away from your hips. See how you lock out, you kind of go side to side. Okay, now do all the posture focuses. So line your feet, lengthen your spine, okay, level your pelvis, and then sit up in your chair. Okay, good. Unlock your knees a little bit. There you go. Be strong in your core. Now try to do the same thing. So just shift your weight side to side. So, good. Go ahead and try it again. Just keep your hands right here. Engage your core. Yeah. So it's not going as far. So what will happen if you don't use your core, you'll kind of go side to side like this. If you gather in your forces and you kind of make yourself tall, pull in through here, and now you do it, you can't go as much side to side. Like we talked about alignment in the direction you're going. If you're going a lot of side to side, that's going to cause a lot of hip problems normally, IT band and hip bursitis, those kind of things. So that's the point of kind of creating a center and being aligned that way. Okay, very good. The next one is what we call the flop over exercise. Okay, so this one, what we're going to do is as you're completely relaxed and just loosey-goosey, not engulfing your core, you're going to bend over from the waist and just flop over. Go ahead and flop over. Okay, so you're flopped over. Good. Okay, come on up. All right, now we're going to do the same posture focuses again. So we're going to go over them one by one again. Align your feet and legs. Okay, lengthen your spine. Okay, lengthen to the back of your head. Kind of get the crown of your head up to the sky. Level your pelvis. Okay, good. Engage your core. Sit up in your chair a little bit. Okay, now hold your core and your strength here as you try to bend over now. Hold your core. Try to do it. Okay, good. Come on back. Perfect. So that's the demonstration that if we are aligned, front to back will be supported. If we're holding in our core, we won't slump into a bad posture that will create energy loss. So basically, if you're strong here, your needle won't bend. Okay, if your needle won't bend, then you have a nice strong forward column to keep you going down the road. Okay, so that's really a nice part of demonstration to see where if you're not holding that, you'll kind of go here. If you got the muscles working, then and everything's aligned, it'll help you become more efficient. Okay, very good. All right, and then the last one is the